Good evening. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us and welcome to the 4th Annual EdTech Innovation Award, INA 2022. My name is Jin Kwada, and here with me today are my fellow steering committee members. We are lecturers and colleagues in the Communication, Media, Learning Technologies Design program, always a mouthful, Dr. Joey Lee and Dr. Yu Kyung Chang. Please give them a round of applause. Whew. Wow, it really is great to be back live after a whole year of online, which in itself was awesome, but it is really nice to see these friendly faces and exciting pods, and this is just really great. We're happy to be back live in person, and we can't wait to show you some of the awesome projects, which you guys have already seen, a lot of them, that this year's INA participants have cooked up, right? And so we are back. Essentially, it can't really be said enough, right, that when we do this kind of thing, whether it's INA or PodFest or whatever, it really takes a community to make these things happen. INA 2022 wouldn't have been possible without the support of the many individuals, offices, friends at TC. And as such, we want to give special thanks to Dr. Sandra Okita, Program Director of the Communication, Media, Learning Technologies Design Program, Dr. Deetra Price-Dennis, Associate Professor of Education, Doctors Lalitha Vasudevan, Charles Lang, Malik, and the staff of the Digital Futures Institute for all of your support and insight. Thank you so much. We also had invaluable support and mentorship from experts all across industry, as well as from past INA alumni who were super excited to come back and talk to our students. Amanda Rosenberg and Jackson Young, Leonardo Barros, Adriana Selman, Felicia Tu, Min Lei, Daria Dudenkova, Joe Chung, Monica Chan, all just wonderful help. We would also like to express our appreciation for Static for their generous sponsorship and the continued support of this INA program. So basically, you know, we really want to show our gratification to all these people, but also to you, the students. You participated in INA 2020. You are the ones that showed just boundless dedication, creativity, and collaboration across 8 weeks. Wow. 9 teams of students have worked tirelessly through the past 8 weeks to learn about what it means to design, right? What does it mean to develop ideas? And these are the kinds of things that we will be sharing tonight. You know, watching students not only develop their projects, but to develop as future innovators is just a joy, right? One of the joys of this job. And we hope to share with all of you that joy as well. So students identified specific problems relating to this theme, learning in the age of the metaverse. And so they completed a series of design thinking workshops that spanned across 8 weeks, 5 stages processing from starting with empathizing with their learners, their users, defining really important and focused problems, coming up with lots of ideas for solutions and narrowing it down, then prototyping them and then testing them. So it really was a huge journey and undertaking. That's what we're about. So without further ado, let's get started. And to introduce how this evening will unfold and introduce the judges and the teams, I would like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Joey Lee.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Great. All right. So tonight, 3 finalist teams will deliver short pitch presentations. Afterwards, our featured panel of judges will give brief comments and reactions. And then finally, after our judges deliberate and make their decisions, we will announce the winners, including the People's Choice Award, based upon popular vote with the magnets that you received earlier, and the winner of INA 2022 based upon judges' decision. All right, I'd like to now introduce our judges for this evening. We're very lucky to have 4 esteemed judges with us tonight, representing expertise in different areas. Okay, first, Dr. Katie Embree is Vice President for Planning and Strategy and Chief of Staff to the President. Katie is an administrative leader, kind of like an administrative superhero, who has served in many different roles, including Associate Director of the Center of Educational Outreach and Innovation, Assistant Dean, Associate Provost, and Vice Provost. She's also overseeing Student Affairs, the Office of Digital Learning, the Office of Continuing Professional Studies, and many other essential communities. Welcome, Katie. Next, Travis Felder is the co-founder and CEO of TechRow, an edtech company founded in Harlem that leverages virtual reality and media, including a content library of over 400 immersive experiences to reimagine college and career readiness in the K-12 sector. He's also the co-author of the New York Times Guide to Virtual Reality in Education, a set of lesson plans to support teachers in innovative pedagogy. Welcome, Travis. Our third judge is Abby Adams, Senior Director of Product and Designer of Playful Learning Experiences at Brainpop, an online educational solution with short animated movies and games used by millions of learners. Abby also teaches courses on UX research and design as an adjunct professor at New York University. Welcome, Abby. And last, but certainly not least, our fourth judge is Dr. Charles Lang, Senior Executive Director of the Digital Futures Institute at Teachers College, Columbia University. Charles was formerly the director of the college's Learning Analytics MS program and also the co-editor of the Handbook of Learning Analytics. Please welcome Dr. Charles Lang. All right, so we are, everybody please give a warm welcome to our judges, and we are now going to talk about how the pitch presentations are gonna work, all right? So, we have three finalists here with us tonight, Team WAC, Team Cerberus, and Team Millionaire. They will deliver 5-minute pitches about their innovative project ideas that they've been working on. Meanwhile, our esteemed judges panel will evaluate each project in terms of its innovation, its relevance to the problem and theme, application of research, and also the overall value or impact. All right, so is everybody excited? Everybody ready for some pitch presentations? All right, without further ado, please enjoy our three finalist presentations.
Good evening, everybody. We are Team WAC, and it is our pleasure to present our product, De-alienation. So as you can see, we are a diverse group. Some of us are international students, while others, like me, were born here in the United States. Due to our differing backgrounds, we became interested in examining cultural competence. Cultural competence is the ability to effectively work, interact, and create meaningful relationships with people from diverse backgrounds. We became interested in examining this because we all have experienced some sort of cross-cultural miscommunication before. For example, when I studied abroad in Hong Kong, I accidentally asked someone, "Are you almost dead yet?" when I was trying to bargain with her in Hong Kong, in Cantonese. So apparently, we weren't the only ones who experienced such cultural blunders. When we interviewed university students, many of them expressed similar frustrations and struggles during their cross-cultural interactions, like on right here. Therefore, we believe that we should create something that can build cultural competence because we foresee that this problem will be exacerbated in the metaverse when the lines between physical and virtual realities blur. Universities will become increasingly globalized, which increases the chances for cross-cultural conflicts, especially those caused by stereotyping, discrimination, and biases. Therefore, our solution is De-alienation, a VR role-playing game where individuals act as intergalactical beings who accidentally land on an alien planet. They need to interact and form meaningful relationships with other aliens on the planet in order to successfully leave and continue their journey. Although developing cultural competence is a lifelong process, we believe that this will be a starting point for individuals to build necessary cultural competence skills like cultural awareness, social skills, and cultural knowledge. And we actually used a narrative of aliens because research has shown that it is important to provide psychological distance and a comfortable environment in order to challenge sensitive topics like this one. We had two different modes in our game. The first mode involves players interacting with non-playable characters so that they can build foundational knowledge and skills with prompts and facilitations. And the second mode involves players interacting with other players so that they can put the skills that they practice into use.
All right. So for our first interaction, players interact with non-playable characters, and it's facilitated by. What we're having is that players are interacting with these characters who have these rich backgrounds, and they get the opportunity to go through normal interactions such as greeting someone, picking up their verbal and non-verbal cues, and getting the opportunity to reflect, which in our case is facilitated by an assistant which pops up on the top right corner and gives you the opportunity towards other alternative actions such as learning by observation. Each interaction, each interaction gives you the opportunity to move the story in two ways. Either you learn more about the character, or you learn to get more spaceship parts, which later on pushes you towards further interactions and learning more about other cultures. Each character is unique; they're different, and they have their own deep narratives, which the game exposes as interactions progress. And it also gives you the opportunity to reflect that not everyone is the same, and and that there's more to them than meets the eye. There's also a multiplayer mode which gets you the opportunity to interact with other players who come up with their own narratives as well. So we can see all around us that cross-cultural competence is cross-cultural interaction is something that is here to stay here at TC and in online interactions as well. And with the market for cross-cultural interactions forecasted to grow up to 1.5 billion, it only makes sense to invest in something that has now become inevitable. With de-alienation, we want our participants to come up with to have these cross-cultural skills where they learn that that what seems normal to us may mean something completely different to another person, and therefore, if we are able to break stereotypes, and if we are able to if we, then if participants are able to break stereotypes and see individuals as a whole, they will be able to they will have these cross-cultural skills which are necessary for future interactions in the metaverse. Thank you. And
All right, hello everyone. It is such an honor to be here. We, Cerberus, would like to introduce you to Soteria, our city in VR for remote workers. A bit about us three is that we all come from different backgrounds. However, we came together to think about problems in the expanding metaverse and looked first at the unfulfilled needs of those around us, our family, our friends, many of whom were in our user research pool. And so we came to our problem of supporting remote workers in the blurred line between home and work while they work remotely, and therefore the increased social isolation and anxiety they now face. That said, to break our problem down further, studies show that in the surge of remote work, three sub-problems have emerged, including workplace ambiguity between personal and professional, increased reliance on social media as a means to cope, and increased social isolation stemming from physical isolation during a time of crisis. Therefore, our target audiences are twofold: our remote workers who are isolated and their employers who are now challenged to support their workers in unprecedented ways. So in Soteria, there is a virtual cityscape that, in partnership with mental wellness professionals, transports remote workers to a community of shared resources. Named after the spirit of safety in Greek mythology, Soteria is a haven for users to share pain points through storytelling. We expect our users to experience Soteria from the inside out, at the individual level in mobile and on their dedicated balcony, and out to the city and the larger community. That said, the Soteria experience is supported by features embedded in its urban plan. Each user will have a dedicated balcony that is their hub of activity and archived resources, and then outside the balcony, which extends to the larger city and its community of wellness consultants and other remote workers. The lifeblood of Soteria runs through two channels, which are our goals and interaction: self-disclosure, and therefore the vulnerability and the strength to be vulnerable, that is, and social connectedness informing these bonds. Creating avenues for these opportunities is readily served in VR as a social medium through which growth is contextualized, meaningful, authentic, and made one's own in a situated approach to learning. Let's talk first about self-disclosure. What does it mean to share, and what does sharing look like in Soteria? We designed mobile prompts to encourage users to share snapshots of emotions, which then manifest in their balconies. To protect privacy, we have made anonymity an option for each feature, and as such, the user's mobile input informs the Soteria space like so. You can see that the wish you've made in mobile is now manifested as a paper boat floating along the wishes of many others in the city waters, that your mood has informed the weather of the environment, that your responses to the prompts are now bottled messages on your balcony, and that you have ready access to a mental wellness consultant in the phone booth. So that said, in connecting with each other in the space, users are encouraged to interact with others by going to their balconies, by also attending campfire Q&As moderated by mental wellness consultants, and also by tending to their balcony gardens and reflecting in moments of exchange. Pardon me. For the predicted sustainability of this network, let's talk business. The global workplace wellness market was at an estimated $48.5 billion in 2020, and in the US alone, in just 4 years, that market will reach an estimated $7.3 billion in 2026. As more than half of companies globally are hybrid or fully remote, we foresee opportunities for Soteria to grow as a community through a tiered subscription model. We therefore also expect to expand the virtual landscape in Soteria Plus with extensions in compatible devices, VR game rooms, and hobbyist channels. Kindness is at the heart of Soteria and in its goal to encourage participants to engage in their larger communities, both online and in real life. We find it meaningful to remember, in the humblest sense, that people actively choose to remain kind. Therefore, we also challenge remote workers to capture the moments of their honest selves, to bridge themselves to each other in Soteria. Thank you.
Hi, we're Team Millionaire, and it's a pleasure to present you with our design $. So, you might have heard this line from friends, but this urge to buy is actually not very different for young people nowadays. Like for discount, it can make you almost unbeatable in game. A 22-year-old whom we interviewed actually spent like $500 to buy this with no second thought. Although she regretted it afterwards, but there's no way back because the money just went with the wind. And she's not alone. Online buying is as easy as a single click, which leaves you no time to think and makes informed buying decisions harder than ever. And what's worse, our youth who just got control over their spendings are actually underprepared and facing a financial literacy crisis. Like in the US, 27 states high schools scored lower than C for financial literacy, and 4 in 5 youths failed a financial literacy quiz. And things just don't get better magically as they grow up. 3 in 5 adults have no budget, 78% of adults live paycheck to paycheck, 4 in 5 adults are unconfident in saving up, and 2 in 3 families lack an emergency fund. But what these young people will be thrown into is an even more complex world of buying. There will be a sharp growth in the market of in-game purchases and also NFTs, in the near future, meaning that youth would not only have to navigate themselves in offline spendings, but also in online spendings and with virtual goods with the development of metaverse. So facing all these challenges, simply telling our young people to spend less just will not do the work, because financial literacy skills are not something to be learned. It's very personalized, and it should be nurtured, explored, and developed through personalized money experiences.
That's why we present you our solution, Dollar Dollar, a virtual reality-based role-playing game. As a safe space, youths come together, take on different roles, and compete by spending and saving. And in the meanwhile, rehearsing a decision-making framework every step of the way. First, they recognize their need and want and formulate related criteria. Everyone will receive one identity, along with their financial information like income and saving. Players will make all of the decisions in the game based on the understandings of their characters' goals and budgets. Then it's research and decision making. Each round, an item is presented. Just like real life, it could be virtual or it could be physical. And don't worry if you don't know what an NFT is. The item description helps you understand this metaverse and virtual related financial problems. And a magic book will provide players guiding questions on allowing them to reflect on their decision-making process. But no purchase standalone. Appraising the purchase and allow players to reflect on the long-term benefits and also repercussions. Just like real life, unexpected events might happen during the game. If you're lucky, you might marry a player and win together. But if you are unlucky, you might get into a global pandemic, and only the players who are prepared with health insurance will survive the hit. These ups and downs in the game allow players to prepare themselves in the idea of financial preparation.
Dollar Dollar is closely related to Metaverse. First, the VR nature makes our simulation more realistic and more easier to transfer. Also, Metaverse-related financial concepts are learned in the gameplay. What's more, we encourage players to create their own characters and items during the play with descriptions. These items will be turned into in-game NFTs that belong to the players themselves, and would enrich our game assets, increase our replayability. So in what scenarios would our game be played? First, with friends or partners to talk about one another's perspectives on financial issues, or between parents or children to explain economic concepts and responsibilities, and in a facilitated financial literacy class in schools. To conclude, Dollar Dollar is a social space full of money-related conversations, a gaming spot with opportunities to experience different roles and events, and a learning experience where learners gain financial knowledge during the play, and lastly, a decision-making mindset that could be transferred into their daily lives. So as young adults ourselves, our group members all have our individual shopaholic moments. Actually, I bought that $500 gun. That's not something to be ashamed of. We just need to find and practice that healthy mode of spending that most suitable to ourselves. We believe that this is a life-rewarding ability that everyone can nurture with our metaverse-based game, Dollar Dollar. Thank you.
Well, thank you, presenters. I hope you enjoy the presentation. Now we would like to invite our judges to share their feedback on the three finalist projects. Vice President Katie Embree, can I ask you to start with the feedback?
These were also, is it on? Okay, thank you. Wow, I'm really blown away. I was furiously taking notes and thought we were gonna all sit together and think about each one of these categories, so I'm not as prepared as I would hope. I would say for innovation, I mean, each one of the problems, you were all coming from a from a place where you're identifying a problem, and it happened to be innovative, but it was innovative in a real world way. And you all found like such a fabulous creative way to address that problem that was innovative, but it was also very fun. Like I could imagine, maybe not myself, but I could imagine my kids being like very engaged in all of this. I particularly, the last one was particularly, I was particularly affected by that because I know that this college has done a lot of work with financial literacy, and I know that it's been such an issue that our kids are very non-literate when we come to think about just regular budgets and having conversations about student loans and all of that stuff. And you're like, wow, you know, I don't know how did I learn that stuff? Well, I learned it because my parents took it really seriously, but you know, that was a different age. Cultural competence, I mean, that, how can we possibly take on something as complicated as that and come up with, again, an innovative and creative way to get people engaged with that? And as a huge science fiction person, I'm not going to say alien person, but science fiction person, I very much appreciated not only that you were using that, but also the graphics that you were using I thought were incredible. Cerebus, let me return to my notes on that. Oh, soteria. Social isolation. Gosh, because it was in the middle, I'm a little bit, connectedness and yes. Maybe I should pass to you, and please come back to me on that one after I read my notes.
Travis?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Amazing presentations, and I really appreciated how grounded your proof of concepts were and how relevant they were, particularly around the cultural competencies one. Black, correct? Super. I mean, the metaverse is going to blur a ton of lines, and there's no question that you're going to see just the world becoming smaller inside of these spaces, while at the same time expanding access to people of varying cultures. And I think cultural competency is going to be essential in creating safe spaces inside of the metaverse as people interact with each other on a much wider scale. So I really appreciated the foresight in incorporating this theme around cultural competency and leveraging the metaverse to do that. I thought it was super cool, utilizing aliens as the means of communication. It creates enough disconnect to not cause an immediate cultural affront on others inside of a metaverse environment, while at the same time making it entertaining. So I thought that was really cool. Cerberus, super. I saw you guys earlier. I thought that was, remote work. It's like it's affecting all of us, and finding more room to create deeper spaces to separate between personal and work life, creating work life and personal balance was just exceptional. I like the way you guys did it. I think it's a burgeoning market. You're seeing a lot of companies that are coming into the space and creating these types of environments, whether it be through fitness in the metaverse, mindfulness. So I think it's coming in at an inflection point in the industry. The industry really gravitated towards that space. So my immediate thought was obviously highly relevant research, clearly tremendous value. Differentiation, I think, is going to be something that will certainly come up. So focusing and keying in on the remote workforce makes a lot of sense. Millionaire, talk about just really ahead of the curve. I mean, no one's really thinking about this level of safety in the metaverse as it relates to youth. I think we're still just sort of catching up with financial literacy in the real world, let alone the metaverse, which is going to be an entirely new dimension of challenges that are going to impact youth all around the world. I loved your company and your theme. It was super engaging. You used avatars in a very smart way. And what I also really liked with all of you is that oftentimes when you look at how companies are building in the metaverse, they tend to build at the top of the ivory tower. And all of you really anchored it in real world challenges. And I think that's very positive as it relates to adoption, as it relates to relatability. And I really applaud you all in how you navigated that. So well done.
Thank you.
All right. I like to give feedback in kind of an I like, I wish, and I wonder thing. So I'm going to do that for all of you. But I I totally agree with everyone else. Like the problem definition, I thought was super clear and like well understood. You knew who your users were, and as a user-centered product person, it just gives me the willies. I'm so excited about that. So I'll start with whack. I really liked, I think you nailed something that is so hard to get in real life, which is, I'm sorry, who am I looking at? You guys. I think to observe a totally different culture than your own, like in their natural culture is such a cool idea. And I get like a Sleep No More kind of immersive theater vibe from this, which I think is super rad. I wish you had gone a little deeper into defining what culture means. So I know you had language ideas and like who defines that culture. So one of the things I wonder is, we never want the dominant culture to kind of define what kids are learning, what people are learning. So I think really thinking thoughtfully about like how you're defining what you're teaching and what culture that is. I noticed you had a note up at the top that was like, oh, in this culture, don't treat women that way. And I think like, just be sure that you're not, furthering kind of misunderstandings or generalizations or things like that. But overall, like, I think such a cool idea. I would totally play that. Cerberus, I thought your visuals, Cerberus, who are you? Thanks. I thought your visuals were so like beautiful and soulful and just really like matched the kind of problems that you're trying to solve. So I really love just all the water animation, just everything looked so beautiful. So whoever your visual artist was or wherever you found it online, great work. He's serious. Great job. I wish you did talk a little bit more about, like you allude to social media, which I thought was so great, and obviously social media has some of these same trade-offs. I would love to hear kind of more about the differentiation piece. Why would a user adopt this as opposed to being vulnerable in some of the social media aspects they already have? And then I wonder if some of the designs are bringing like home and personal too close together. So I know it was for like workplaces or people who are working remotely, but then there was, real vulnerability. So I think like that, a little bit of that dissonance, like is it a work thing, is it a home thing, could be further clarified. Millionaire, I love that you included kids in this. Where are you, middle? Yes, I think like that use case, right? Kids are gonna be early adopters. So I love like, as you talk through those 3 use cases, I thought that was really brilliant. And like, obviously this could scale really big. So I love that. I think I would love to hear kind of more of the affordances of like the social aspect of it. I didn't hear a lot of that, and I think that's what the metaverse is super about and could be really good conversations, but I didn't quite see that in your presentation. And then I think across all of these, obviously one of the biggest challenges in teaching something digitally and then transferring it to a new place is that how do you transfer this to the real world, right? So how are you taking these skills and like letting your users use them when they're not in VR or they're not in the metaverse, right? And they're just like living lives with other people. So I would challenge all of you to kind of think of like, what is that transfer moment and how do you really nail that to like take these learnings outside of the game, outside of the social experience and into your real lives. So awesome job, everyone. I loved it all. It was so beautiful and lovely to look at. And like, I just love the problems you're solving. So great job.
Hi, thank you so much. That was amazing. I'm just going to reiterate pretty much what everyone else said, which was these were super polished. The problem identification, the problem decomposition was absolutely on point, and I think you all did an amazing job, and it really shows, and it's a testament to the INA process that they were so like well defined and sorted out. And again, the visuals are amazing, the talks are engaging, you're all over it. If I have one question, it is a question I don't know the answer to, and I hope it's something that you can take forward when you keep doing this work, which is, I don't know how we provide evidence for a world that doesn't exist yet. So how do you sell a solution when everything is kind of in a fog? But I think, you know, sometimes that was successful, sometimes it wasn't, but I hope you can walk away from this experience and say, actually, I've done this a bit before. So when you come up against these kind of technological revolutions, you can come at it in a more advanced way than maybe other people. But yeah, absolutely blown away. Really great job. Really impressed. I'm always super impressed. And like, why am I here? You should be sitting here doing the judging. But yeah, thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much for the thoughtful feedback. Now you guys can leave the stage, and we will give our judges the really difficult job of going over the evaluation to come up with the winner.
All right, so while the judges are deliberating, they'll have roughly 7 or 8 minutes to be able to determine the winner. So in the meanwhile, we're going to play for you all a video with some reflections from the last year's winner of the Innovation Award.
Was kind of that, you know, new endeavor in learning and education, and to be honest, all of that thing about research and literature reviews was very new for me, and it really helped in trying to understand how research can be used as a lens, I'd say, in my designs, you know, how it can guide different kind of design decisions that I make. And so that you know, that kind of outcome, I ended up using it a lot in a lot of different classes down the road.
What was really interesting was because a lot of the participants came from very different backgrounds, approaching education and learning at the starting point. And for example, some of us come from a more creative or more designer perspective, and some others came from a more research-based and theoretical-based backgrounds, and then merging these different categories of people and diversity of people together into groups helped us kind of strike a balance from our individual perspective between, you know, the more creative approaches and the more theoretical based and framework based perspective.
We all came from different backgrounds and used research to inform sort of how we could address a topic that we all are passionate about, and use literature and research as higher level principles to translate those into solutions that could benefit a lot of people at the same time.
Yeah, I think going through the process of the INA, you know, with my team, sort of independently of, you know, specific classes and the way that we learned each of these steps in school, it was really valuable because we got to sort of take an idea from the very beginning and see it through to the very end, and participate in that process in more of a kind of real world way. So I think it prepared me to experience more of what I would actually be experiencing in the real world.
It was extremely daunting, extremely hard to actually do, but meeting weekly with a different professor and having to explain our ideas throughout the course of the INA, I actually got better at it. And so I think it was mostly communicating my ideas in a very succinct, short way, and and be able to explain to people, what I'm doing and or what I'm studying. And so yeah, that was beneficial throughout my career, communicating my ideas clearly to others.
I think more than anything, it kind of just gave me the confidence to feel like the ideas that I have are possible, right? To know that something that I've worked on can be put out there in the world and appreciated.
I think no matter what kind of career path or industry you get into after graduating from TC, I think the INA kind of Shark Tank progress gave you this discipline of problem solving, this framework of problem solving that can be applied to whatever industry or job or career path that you're on.
I think INA helped me be more comfortable with the unknown and more ambiguity in terms of navigating the challenges when teaching and with technology during the pandemic. Whenever designing learning experiences or lessons for my students across different modalities, I think there are a lot more now ID and US considerations when adapting for those situations. And we sort of have to think about within the existing constraints, like how can we come up with different solutions to address and to narrow down the actual learning problem instead of the symptoms, right? To actually address those problems and to achieve those goals.
One of the things that we had to, as a group, get comfortable with very quickly was the idea of not being 100% married to a final product. And I think when we were given that advice ourselves, it kind of helped us to let go and really be able to explore kind of not necessarily where we wanted to go, but all of the options open to us that our problem kind of opened, and then really focus on the things that mattered in terms of what we wanted to achieve. So I would say that being really comfortable with that ambiguity.
I think one thing that I would say is be relaxed and also be open-minded for not just different feedbacks, like critical ones or supportive ones, but also be open-minded and be appreciative of all of your teammates' inputs, because everybody, the value of grad school in comparison to undergrad is everybody comes from completely different backgrounds, and it can be that one of your teammates comes from physics or neuroscience and the other one comes from art, so the kind of the diversity, the kind of melting pot effect of ideas that are generated in this kind of Shark Tank progress is really, really valuable. And it's not something that you usually run into outside of school. So I think that's one thing that the participants should really value.
Hey, pick your team, pick people you want to hang out with. I think that was extremely important for our endeavor. Is we didn't too much look at our skills or what we wanted to create. We just picked people that we liked and that we wanted to learn more from and about. So and we ended up developing great friendship out of it. So it was definitely the way to go.
I think one advice I would give to the participants of INA is to find the right group in which you're able to risk honesty, but also being biased towards yes, because you are in the same group to try to come up with a solution. And another advice is to make sure that your communication is effective and efficient, because you are on this strict timeline, and you aren't always going to have the time to meet, in person or at the same time. So make sure that communication is clear and efficient. And everybody's on the same page. And then the last one would probably be that you're gonna get a lot of feedback, but you cannot please everybody. So go with your gut and just emphasize what's the most important that will help you solve this problem and have fun. INA.
INA! INA!
INA. Don't
Don't
expect
expect
any money.
Well, we all had too much fun there, right? Okay. Every year, we're faced with this big challenge where we have to review all these great projects and come down to one winning submission. And I'm sure our judges actually share this pain with us, right? Yes. Well, this year, INA was represented by 9 teams, including 35 students, participants from across different universities, programs. We're constantly impressed by all the hard work and commitment that students put into their projects. And through this project and the process of working on their project, students develop their skills, hone in their thinking, and through the process, lift each other up. We're very fortunate to be able to work with such gifted and encouraging community. And now it seems like it's the time that we've all been waiting for, right? Yes. We would like to present 2 awards, starting out with People's Choice Award. Can I have you guys come and participate in awarding this? Yes. Well, all visitors to the INA Showcase were asked to vote for their favorite project. So the People's Choice Award goes to the project that received the most vote, so the fan favorite. Now, the winner of the People's Choice Award 2022 goes to Soteria, Team Cerberus. Congratulations. Sorry, a little photo op. Yes.
Who's taking the photo?
I don't know. Hopefully somebody, right?
Right over there, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you. Congratulations again. Now, finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. The INA Award is given each year. The INA Award is given each year to the project that embodies the spirit of INA. What we're really trying to accomplish here is to bridge the gap between EdTech and learning sciences. So the judges evaluated projects along 4 categories: innovation, relevance, research, and value. Does a project provide effective, research-informed learning experiences in the metaverse? And now, the winner of 2022 INA Award is Millionaire, $. Congratulations. Are we doing another photo op? Okay, there you go. Think of it as a commercial break, right? Well, thank you so much.
One more time, let's give a hand to all the participants and the winners of this year's INA. Woo. Wow, what a moment. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed this experience with us, and we will continue to innovate and support future innovators. It's just been wonderful, and so please, safe travels home. We look forward to seeing you all next year at INA 2023. Thank you very much. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Can we get all the INA participants back on the stage for a photo op? Another photo op.
INA participants, please make your way on over to the side so we can get one more photo op. INA participants, please come on down. This is your last chance to get a photo. Please come on over to where the mic is. Over. Gotta scrunch in together, closer. Come towards me. If you're on this side, come this way towards me. If you're on this side, come closer towards me. We might need several rows. I will start the first row by taking a knee. Everyone, come on down. Even more. Let's get more intimate. Okie dokie. Can we get the judges inside too? Yeah, can we? Judges, we want you in here as well. Yeah. Where are the other two? Oh, there they are. Okay, yeah, great. One. Are we ready? All right. Cheese. One more for safekeeping. Cheese. Wave. Yeah. What is it? Iron? Right? 1, 2, 3. Hey! Oh! I thought that was a crazy picture. I don't know. Everyone's silly, right? One more time. Really silly, guys. Everyone think INA. Everyone say INA. INA! INA! Yeah! Thank you very much. Started that cascade. Everyone giving this like.
Yeah. Very super helpful. Let's touch base about your UX work. Yeah, my mobile learning course sounds like the best fit. They built their similar products too.
Thank you.
They do have like Figma-based like wireframe prototypes and stuff like that. Yeah, so the pictures.
Millionaire? Dr. Chang, could you come over here, please? So, let's get around. Let's take a photo. Guys, ready? Oh yeah, pro camera. In the way of the pro camera. See, that's the camera. Should I make an announcement? Clean up your stuff. INA participants, if you could please clean up so that other people can use this space, that would be greatly appreciated. It's time to clean up your messes today. All right, guys, INA team, and one more picture. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. What was that song?